There comes a moment in every gardener's life when the mind is willing, the spirit is eager, but the body simply says no. We wake up with the sunrise, coffee in hand, looking out at the dew on the leaves, and we feel that familiar itch to get our hands in the soil. But then, we bend down to pull that first stubborn weed, and a sharp reminder shoots through our knees or our lower back. It is a difficult realization to accept because for many of us, gardening isn't just a hobby or a chore. It is a fundamental part of who we are. It is our connection to the earth, our source of peace, and our quiet defiance against the chaos of the world. The fear isn't just about pain. It is the fear of having to give up the thing that brings us the most joy. But I am here to tell you that you do not have to stop. You do not have to hang up your gloves. You just have to change the way you play the game. Today we are going to talk about how to evolve your gardening style so that you can keep growing, harvesting, and thriving well into your golden years without sacrificing your health or your happiness. The first and perhaps most critical change we need to discuss is the absolute necessity of elevating your earth. We spent our younger years believing that gardening meant kneeling in the dirt, crawling between rows, and bending over until our hamstrings screamed for mercy. That method might work when you are 30, but it is a recipe for disaster when you are 65. The ground is simply too far away, and the toll it takes on your spine and hips to constantly bridge that gap is unsustainable. The solution is not to stop planting, but to bring the ground up to you. We need to transition away from traditional in-ground rows and fully embrace raised beds that sit at least 2 to 3 feet off the ground. Even better are elevated planter boxes that stand on legs, allowing you to slide a chair underneath or stand comfortably upright while you prune your tomatoes. Imagine walking out to your garden and tending to your lettuce and herbs without ever bending your waist. Imagine harvesting a basket of peppers while standing perfectly straight, looking your plants in the eye rather than looking down at them. This isn't just about comfort. It is about preserving your mobility. By raising the soil level, you eliminate the deep squats and the kneeling that wear down cartilage over time. You also gain better control over your soil quality, fewer weeds to contend with, and typically warmer soil earlier in the season. It is a shift in perspective that saves your body energy for the fun parts of gardening, rather than spending your entire battery just trying to get up off the ground. If you have existing in-ground beds, you don't have to abandon them overnight, but start planning your transition now. Every season, aim to replace one ground-level plot with a raised structure. Your future self will thank you every single morning. Once we have fixed the environment, we must address the equipment, because the tools you bought 20 years ago are likely fighting against you today. Standard gardening tools are often heavy, cumbersome, and designed with durability in mind, rather than the human anatomy. As we age, our grip strength naturally diminishes, and conditions like arthritis can make clutching a heavy wooden handle feel like torture after just a few minutes. The second major change you must make is a complete audit and replacement of your tool shed. You need to seek out ergonomic tools specifically designed to reduce strain. Look for trowels and cultivators with curved handles that keep your wrist in a neutral position, rather than forcing it to bend at awkward angles. We also need to talk about weight and leverage. Swap out those heavy spades for lightweight aluminum or composite versions. Invest in long-handled tools that allow you to cultivate the soil from a standing position, removing the need to hunch over. Another incredibly effective modification is to increase the diameter of your tool handles. You can use foam tubing or specialized grip tape to thicken the handles of your favorite rakes and hoes. A thicker handle means you don't have to squeeze as tightly to maintain control, which significantly reduces hand fatigue and joint pain. Ratcheting pruners are another non-negotiable addition to your kit. These clever devices use a mechanism to cut through thick branches in stages, multiplying your hand strength so that you can trim your roses without straining your tendons. Your tools should be an extension of your body, helping you accomplish more with less effort, not a burden that leaves you aching before the work is even done. The third change is one that is often overlooked until an accident happens, and that is the safety and layout of your garden paths. In our younger years, we might have hopped over muddy patches, navigated uneven stones, or squeezed through narrow gaps between overgrown bushes without a second thought. But as we age, balance becomes a precious commodity, and the garden can unfortunately become a hazard zone if we aren't careful. A fall in the garden can be devastating, potentially sidelining you for an entire season or worse. We must prioritize stability and ease of movement above all else. This means widening your pathways to at least 3 or 4 feet, ensuring there is ample room to walk comfortably, maneuver a wheelbarrow, or even use a walker or cane if needed in the future. Take a hard look at the surface of your paths. Loose gravel, slippery mud, or uneven flagstones are accidents waiting to happen. You want firm, level, non-slip surfaces. Crushed granite, compacted dirt that is well maintained, or smooth pavers set flush with the ground are excellent options. It is also vital to keep these paths ruthlessly clear of sprawling vegetation. That pumpkin vine creeping across the walkway isn't charming, it is a trip hazard. Be aggressive about trimming back plants that encroach on your safe walking space. Furthermore, consider the lighting. We often love to garden in the cool of the evening, but as the light fades, depth perception drops. Installing simple solar path lights can define the edges of your walkways and ensure that you can always see exactly where you are stepping. By engineering safety into the very layout of your garden, you remove the anxiety of falling and allow yourself to focus entirely on the joy of nurturing your plants. Now let's discuss what you are actually growing, because the fourth change requires a shift in your planting philosophy. We often hold on to the idea that we must grow everything, from high-maintenance exotic flowers to expansive vegetable patches that require constant vigilance. But to keep gardening sustainable, we need to switch our focus to low-maintenance, high-reward plants. Native plants and perennials are your best friends here. Once established, they require significantly less water, less fertilizer, and less fussing than annuals. They return year after year, providing beauty and habitat without demanding that you replant every single spring. They are adapted to your local climate and pests, meaning you spend less time fighting nature and more time enjoying it. For the edible garden, prioritize crops that give you a massive harvest for minimal effort. Cherry tomatoes are a perfect example. They are prolific, disease-resistant, and don't require the heavy staking and pruning of their larger beefsteak cousins. Herbs are another fantastic option. They grow like weeds, smell amazing, and can be grown in pots right by your kitchen door. Strawberries, lettuces, and peppers are also excellent choices for container gardening. By moving these high-maintenance plants into containers or vertical gardens, you bring the work to eye level and reduce the sheer volume of space you need to manage. It is about gardening smarter, not harder. You can still have a lush, productive oasis, but by curating your plant list carefully, you reduce the hours of deadheading, weeding, and watering required to keep it alive. This strategy allows you to enjoy the harvest without being enslaved by the process. The final change is perhaps the most difficult for us passionate gardeners to accept, and that is the need to fundamentally change the pace at which we work. We are used to the marathon mindset, heading out on a Saturday morning and working until the sun goes down, driven by a checklist that never seems to end. But pushing your body to the limit is no longer a badge of honor, it is a risk. You must adopt the 20-minute rule. Commit to working for just 20 minutes and then force yourself to take a break. Sit down in the shade, drink a glass of water, and simply look at what you have accomplished. Listen to the birds, feel the breeze, and let your heart rate settle. This isn't laziness, it is pacing. It is ensuring that you have enough energy left for the rest of your day and for tomorrow. You also need to become a strict scheduler regarding the time of day. Avoid the midday heat at all costs. Gardening should be a morning ritual or an evening wind down, never a battle against the noon sun. Dehydration and heat exhaustion hit older adults much faster and harder than we expect. Wear a wide-brimmed hat, keep water attached to your belt, and listen to your body's whispers before they become screams. If you feel a twinge in your back, stop immediately. If you feel dizzy, sit down. By respecting your body's limits and breaking the work into manageable, bite-sized chunks, you transform gardening from an endurance test back into a pleasurable pastime. You will likely find that you actually enjoy the process more when you aren't exhausted, and the quality of your work improves because you are fresh and focused. Making these 5 changes isn't about admitting defeat, it is about strategic adaptation. It is about loving yourself enough to protect your body so that you can continue doing what you love for decades to come. The garden doesn't care if you sit on a stool to weed or if you use a lightweight shovel. It only responds to your care and attention. By elevating your beds, upgrading your tools, securing your paths, choosing smarter plants, and pacing your effort, you are securing your future as a gardener. You are proving that growth isn't just for the plants, it is for the gardener too. We adapt, we evolve, and we keep blooming. I hope these tips help you see that your best gardening days are not behind you, but ahead of you, just in a different form. If you found value in this video and want to keep your green thumb active and healthy, please hit that like button to let us know. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more organic gardening wisdom that grows with you. And I want to hear from you in the comments section below. Tell me, I'm keeping my hands in the dirt, and let me know which of these changes you are going to make first. Happy gardening, everyone, and take care of yourselves out there.